Alright then lads, so today we have another MT filter. I know, I'm just popping out with them today. Yeah boys, we're going to be doing an MT method for you guys today. So if you guys do want to enjoy today's video, find it helpful, smash a like on the video. It does help out the channel quite a bit. So what are we going to be doing? We're going to be focusing on cards that have tokens. Because you guys know, I guys know, tokens at the moment are quite valuable. Just because you do get Hall of Fame badges. Obviously, you have an opinion on whether the Hall of Fame badges are worth doing, or you have the other opinion of you don't think they're worth doing. But basically what you're going to be doing is you're just going to be going through, obviously, a lot of the higher tier or the higher valued badge cards in the game. And just basically what you can do is, because most of these sets are so old, and because a lot of people have locked in these sets for the tokens, these cards have become quite rare. So there's a Ben Simmons there for 23k, and the cheapest one up at the moment is 29k. So, am I going to buy this one? Am I going to buy this one? I'm going to take a punt. I'm going to take a punt and list it for 28k. I lit 28 or 29k. Ignore these Thanasiuses and these other cards. I'm sort of doing an experiment just to see if something works. So, we're going to list him up for 28.5k real quick. And once he's listed up, I'll show that Anthony Davis that I picked up. So, let me just quickly get this card up. 28,300. The reason why these cards have spiked up in price is because, one, people want tokens, and two, because people have locked in the sets, because they're old sets, they're kind of spiked in price at the moment. So the best sets I would say to go for are the draft set and the retro set. You can do quantum, but quantum at the moment is kind of picky because a lot of the opals or all the pink diamonds are still quite common. But the diamonds in some of these sets are actually not too bad. If I just look at Lionel Simmons, if you can see the scroll bar, like obviously I'm in the way, but if the scroll bar is really, really small, then I wouldn't bother. Like, because obviously that's a lot of cards to scroll through. But if you look at Quantum, for example, Bob Sura, it's not as big of a bar. In fact, let me just move my head real quick. So, whoop, as you can see, the bar is not too big. You can very easily scroll to the end, and it's very easy to do so. So, the Quantum set you can do, it kind of just depends which ones you're after. Inferno's probably not, because you're not really after that particular card. But Draft set I found to be really good. The Retro 2K volume is a very, very good set. Maybe not, you know, the Volume 3, because you do still have to scroll quite a bit to get to some of these cards. It kind of just depends, obviously, on the card. Like Zach LaVine, he's not too bad of a card to scroll through. You can very easily get to the 3 hours and 50 so minute mark. Also, a really good thing to do as well is once you figure out what his cheapest buy now is, which at the moment looks to be about 2.9k. So if I was to get one, I listed for 2.8. You can see 1 year for 1.5. So I'll just bid like a 2,200 MT. If I win it, happy days. I'll just go, you know, list him up and make up a little bit of MT. Baron Davis actually doesn't look too bad because his bar isn't that big. So obviously now you can see the bar over there. It's not a big bar. So once we get to like the 3 hour mark, didn't see anything there, which is a little unfortunate. So again, some of the cards I've had quite a bit of success with are these retro volume 1s, just because, put it this way, Simbula at this time like last week was about 3k. Search him now, he's about 7k. Obviously a lot of people don't know that, so you might find a Simbula for potentially, you know, discard value. The same with Thornmaker. There's one for 6k, 5.7, 5.4. So someone could list them up for 2k, and you're there with a snipe. Jonathan Isaac used to be a really high volume card, but now you can realistically scroll through quite a lot of him. Obviously, someone's trying to price fix him at 5 point something k. So someone's trying to get rid of someone's trying to make a little bit of profit on price fixing, which, if you guys do price fix, you're not a nice person, because it really does mess on the market for a particular card. Again, you're just scrolling across. 3.8k was the cheapest there. Didn't find much there. I do have receipts, obviously, because you guys obviously love when I show the receipts and show the good stuff. So the amethyst, the rubies, they tend to be the ones that I find quite a bit of success with. Chris Paul, before obviously I made a video where I said like go through old sets and just scroll through and obviously bid on the cards, and these sets were my favorite sets to do that with anyway. But now this has made that method quite a decent one. Remember, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, Penny Hardaway was about 20k. Now he's now it's kind of ridiculous. Paul George is a card where, because obviously he wasn't a locker code, it's going to be, I don't think he's ever going to be an actually good card to actually do this with. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you can still do it with. Obviously, it's actually not as much scrolling as I remembered. Okay, but yeah, at the moment he's about 25k, which is a little Yeah, he's about 10k before all this token madness happened. So Giannis is actually a really good one as well because his scroll bar isn't that big, and obviously Giannis is always seen as a viable card in 2k. So even if you have this pink diamond one, he could potentially be a decent card. So again, you're sort of building up just, you know, memory banks of certain players on certain sets to scroll through. So say you play a game, you can then have in your memory bank certain filters and certain cards that you guys can go get and obviously, you know, list up and go check to see if there's any decent value in certain cards. Scalabrini was actually a decent one for a receipt, so it's a 2.5 one there. I picked that one up. Cheapest on the market at the moment is 3.9k, so I just picked one up for 2.5. So we'll probably sell it for about 3.8, 3.7. So not a bad deal there. So we will we'll go take this Scalabrini and list him up for about 3.7, 3.6. Kind of undecided. Oh, we have two of them. Oh yeah, a receipt. I'll show you in a bit. So we'll list up both of these for about 3.6. And hopefully they get gone as soon as possible. Just because these cards now have demand. Because people are wanting to lock in tokens for those badges. Now let me just get on to my receipts real quick. So we got a storage, we got a media gallery. As you can see, Anthony Davis here, 3,500. His cheapest at the time was 5k. Isaac Bonga, 1.9k. The cheapest up was 2.8k. And if we go to Scalabrini, there's 2.9k there. And obviously the cheapest ups were about 3.9k. And if we look in this Brandon Ingram here, I sniped for 14k. And yeah, I sniped 2 for 14k actually. And his cheapest up was about 20k. So yeah, it's not 2 for 14k. So hopefully them two sell real quick. If you are listing up like draft cards, I maybe listed up for 12 hours overnight. That's one thing where I didn't just think, because I'm so used to listing cards for 4 hours overnight. It's rare that I list them up for any further. But yeah, I would recommend you list a lot of these cards up for 12 hours overnight. Just because obviously there's more chance of them selling, there's less cards in the market, so there's less competition. Thus could potentially increase the price up a little bit of certain cards. And that just happens like on a lot of different cards. In terms of like other sets I would do, there's not like a lot of them I would suggest, just because there's a lot of these sets that just aren't worth doing at the moment. Just because say I don't know, like radioactive, like even with the rubies, like there's just way too much card volume. There's way too much volume of the cards in the market. Retro 2K draft, maybe potentially these season tip-off cards, because obviously they do offer tokens. Well, not a lot, they do offer tokens, so I'd say, you know, keep an eye on them. If you find like a 1k card that's going for like, I don't know, like let's Damon Jones for example. It might be worth picking them up. To be fair, I'm going to take a punt. I'll list it for like 2.2. Just because obviously people do want tokens. People will pay a stupid amount for tokens. It does happen in this game. People just would rather just spend MT rather than just go grind. It just does happen. It does happen in this game because people are, you know, just some people are just impatient. So they just want to get them tokens done ASAP. And maybe they just have a lot of MT, so they don't mind splashing out a certain amount of MT here or there. But that's going to do it for the video, boys. So again, just look at all the sets, like the draft set, the Retro 2K set. Just look at sets that offer a lot of tokens, because odds on you'll probably find a deal here or there. So boys, that's going to do it for the video. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please drop a like in the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're all brand new around here. I see you guys later, and take care. And peace. Let me give a massive shout out to channel members Kev, Ants, Waze, Hans, Lewis, Wallow, Casey, Magic Magpie, Michael, Mario Santos, Kia, Jack Lane, Lindsay Nell, and Josh's mum. Thank you guys so much for all your support.